Hello, everybody. Everyone is recorded involved in election crimes, pretending to be what they're against. When I was in grammar school, there's a grammar school like a little over a mile from my house, just about a mile from my house, and there's foreign and domestic. There's people you go through grammar school, you don't notice anyone. I mean, you could be someone in your class they don't even realize. You don't know the name of them. And then there's someone in maybe your same grade, but you'll never see them because you're never in the same class. They switch that and spread illusions and repeat that. And this is a crime method sickly distinctly everywhere. There is an age of fact cheating nature because of how the identity of our nature of volume is being exploited. Only the extent of this is debatable, but it's being debated offensively, criminally, with what, for example, has the scientific community recorded involved using the word scientific consensus for fact cheating nature tricks and styles that reveal a manifest identity of misprision criminality designed for this fact cheating nature organized crime that would not let and it still is not letting actual substantial valuable logic from having free speech. Now, see, we have I want to beg you, Tucker Carlson, because you have to be bigger than both these parties are recorded sick and for intercampuses. And everyone miss how this is recorded using the identity of location. I'll show you how. You have to. This is the nature of organized crime that nations are in collusion with per the phenomena of here, there. Originally, all modern nations negotiated with trade center and private agreements, all victims with that, all tied to all areas, tactically denatured relationship to nature and nature as means. That's what really reality means. What being woke means is what's woke's real course. Boxing is a source alone. See, the science is sharing identity. In other words, Walls omega kinds energy. Kindness is Walls omega kindness is energy. Now, see, this has to do with that and how women have a value of voice, a, a beauty of it, a nature of it that is simultaneously distinctly and non-distinctly sickly prevented why that is distinct from being our fact cheap in nature value. Reality is real. What is real? See, we have sensibilities in relationship to the events of fact cheap in nature. For example, even with the relationship to elections and voting, those are fact cheap in nature racket roles with natures of investigators that people don't even know. And with the lawyer Robert Chevrolet, a whole bunch of people from my town facilitated the crimes on and off Connecticut campuses, interstate campuses, as ones that were also facilitated with interbranch database crime roles, identity thefts, crime methods that no one realizes natures of crime roles with all a bunch of natures. They know that they're undercover. See, now it's a fact cheating nature racket because I'm not talking about how would they think it was only they influence our interactions for their needs to investigate things. They know that they have their own criminality involved with uses of that, where they don't have the right to lie. In other words, we have all legal representation. They can't defend their uses of time and court and stand free speech with sequence true and understanding why there is the order to the finite that is smaller than small, but still totally in control of it. That nature of might that we can't grip, but has the grip on it exactly the way we want. That's why we need water. That's what we need. Same thing is bigger than everything. And the way it is will reveal is even all space progressions at once are bonded by one identity's a complete relationship to itself, but even only through a semi-nature of itself. One identity is bigger than, but while being the value of space, it can't stop progression perfect. So the ancients revealed the value of a heart is not the flux, it's not the beat, is what is constant. And when this is everything is in demonstration of the simultaneous nature, this identity of value progression, this identity of correlation, where prayer is science, and using the Trinity that is real for science. So this is not asking faith. See, now we have consensus used criminally. We have state scenarios entrenched with abridged constitutional value, because they're using this to prevent free speech. Now one must teach, because it's the internatures of campuses. Because that same campus I have now, I had the principal, nothing personal against him. He never did anything to me personal against me. This is from off the ground of education. And then on and off campuses sustained. Roles with affected fact treatment nature rackets with interbranching collusion. There's a former Mayor Gold. There are people associated with Fiennes family. A whole bunch of interbranch originally still through time, intercities tied to locations associated with this Central Connecticut State University, involved with crimes with judges and with their police forms, and with a whole bunch of people associated with the former director of the FBI, his lawyer, Robert Chevery. The former director's name is Robert Luskin. They're recorded, confessed, involved with identity of the ground uses of Facebook, other online policing for the all natures of crime against all natures of and methods, crime methods recorded. If I call to report something calmly, because the substance of my conversation is real, always true, they're going to afford, they're coaching people to lie about using wire crime, mail crimes, using New Britain Superior Court, whole bunch of other courts and their family members facilitated the crime acts roles, internatures of campuses, people that don't even know them, their names. They try to film other and some tied to the ones that are completely they don't know. Use criminally further Facebook, uses of Facebook. When they're using the media, in the words, they put sick things in movies. They show how to do things that are real criminal, same ones that are pretending be against things offensively. It's because how they're using fake justice, fake care, aggression. These are other natures of gun crimes where they're using the guns and the badges and the pens and sequence shifts and forging names and switching names. Each branch individually grouped and together is involved with this. Now that has to be demonstrated individually grouped together. We need a quality of fact sheet nature that is actually sciences, actually allowed to demonstrate the nature of volumes that are individual grouped and together. The finite order, active order, progressive order. These are three natures of volume. Only the extent of it is debatable. But see, this is originally and still being debated offensively, criminally. And this is maintaining sophistication, criminally forward influence here and there. Every modern nation sees suits and ties. These policies are forced description of groups in relationship to the organized crime method. There was a whole bunch of organized crime, liars, methods of lying, needs to lie, needs to hide the same finite, active, progressive lies. That's what American history is really about. It's about how they use lawyers to defend types of treatments of things that are inseparable. Where the real causes of negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures. Acts like predicate acts associated with groups like criminal enterprises. These groups are tools of other natures of crimes that are completely fact cheap in nature and used by the identities of law, using each other, because they're negotiated time treatments for types of jobs, including as ones, especially as ones as titles. Those are all time treatments. You can't defend that, but say I'm defending a bridge constitution, insidiously needed, pretended valuable natures of convictions, within as the quality of fact treatment nature. So what is woke? Now one has spoke, yeah, true. See, we have each of these natures of database relationships. Everyone in a phenomenon, each age, exploited through what forces people to speak through others and to perceive through that. And it's all the negative value nature action, everything bad maintained, reacted to formally. They were already roles. These are criminal uses of the identities of the ground all around. These are pathology of modern infrastructure, means to it that were affected by the fact treatment nature, slavery, and torture method that was force sustained on our founders. They weren't only recorded fact treatment nature slaves that wanted us to understand and tell that, they were tortured. And that wasn't sustained. And uses of that were engineered, invested, all styles of liars, misprision, criminality, uses of positive emotions and passions taken from their course. Trinity. The identity they connect to is what is valuing in the individual rights grouped and together at once or not. Or now all get hot. But blame not names. Who now the sequence shifts. We have people associated fake sides. Every modern nation's trade center equivalent. Worse than negotiating with a terrorism, and worse than as the people associated with telling, no, we can't negotiate with it. For good reasons. Good reasons we need the purge. The fact treatment nature purge. It is criminal, highly criminal, to pretend, to know and pretend not to realize that more important than voting is having people being able to defend themselves with fact treatment nature true. For long and deep, we've had people pretending people are manic by forging names, switching names, pretending they lied in context they don't, because all the context where people need to get mad, that's forced torture. That's torture. Other natures of torture, motivations, methods, and roles with it that are inseparable from and as the real, awoken course of America, our history. Now we'll see. Those other nations too. They have this fake victim predator, fake positive. That's not science. Science uses what is positive, discerning the difference between criminal insidiousness, nature, positive, natures of logic, justifications of that, convictions with that, styles of liars, styles with physical delusions, intersciences. Attend. Campus Marcius calls you home again. What's law? American history is about how they divide types of law. For defenses of that manifest as used in the fact treatment nature, organized crime method roles. All bonded souls attend. So in the last Little Rap Guy and Friends, in the last Little Rap Guy and Friends episode, So we're going to show that it's not emotions or passions. There's a difference between emotions and passions connected to our identity that is using science to our ways. Mandate righteous land with cares. Forgiveness was for this. Fake law yet stands as treatments of positive self-value originally still. Sickly involved with what caused negative value nature, progression, action nature. Groups. Reactions to that forced to call them groups. That's why it is a valuable commodity that they have kids standing outside claiming that they're part of this gang, this gang openly. They need to bring their organized crime recorded and tied right to them, interbranch, both parties. Forgiveness was for this, fake branches fail. Now all be Romulus, this way, then all prevail. The species is the nature of volume. And yet not let free speech. What knaves? We have just to force free speech and sequence true. The databases are involved in the organized crime since before computers. All victim predator reactions with pseudo-positive. Reactions that exploits known exploitations of a value, of a valued other as criminal seriousness nature. The algorithm. There is one that all others are inseparable from. And this being exploited is the identity of our value. The one that has us each, individual group, species, nature, bond. The value of that. And the value of that to itself. This volume only fills. We are only arranged within it. Within with the complete identity that fills it more and more. Begin, be sure. I will now take with you possession of the sciences for the identity of they share denied. Scientific consensus is recorded, involved. That concept, all physical concepts, all value treatments, recorded, involved with physical delusions, criminally foreign influence, convict natures of convictions, worse. Sequence shifting, style, stand, and worse. Now, hears and knows this true, but only through its needs to defend lies and what it's been formerly. They have each type of group used against everyone. They have forced. So on off Farmington Avenue, on off Fox Connecticut News, on off WFSB, a whole bunch of people that were facilitated the databases crime acts roles. Now, these are another nature of federal crimes with databases. This keeps the identity of each individual grouped and all together self-valuing how they are legalized or criminally legalized, criminal insidiousness natures, misprising and criminality. Recorded and confessed, me and others tried to explain in the state in a straight stream the confessions and the requests for help for this. In other words, from the former director of the FBI, people associated with Farmington Avenue, all the way down there, then it goes to know that street switches or in Asylum Avenue to whatever. But from no in Hartford, then note that switches over to Trinity College. And on and off Trinity College, there's a little Zion Street. This is involved with people involved with Justice Department used to facilitate and to maintain criminally foreign influenced intercities needs to highlight progressions and roles in nature's valuing that formally overt criminal enterprises private, and military, foreign and domestic, criminally foreign influence originally still. This is also inseparable from their reports and reactions to the number of people reportedly committing suicide. This is involved with brothers and sisters. I never called the suicide prevention hotline. I never wanted to commit suicide in my life or anything like that. But see, those people involved with that are involved with identity thefts. And see, then you know they need to control online. This is way worse than just monopoly. In other words, they need to control online by lying about people's behavior, by using AB uh, all knave to keep C pretended you know from being discerned how there was also that is further positive or negative. We have things separated that are inseparable. We have interbranch forging and switching names and wire crime methods, mail crime methods, uses of their locations like cases. Like they know this person's going to walk there because you're set to go up to court that day. They have forging names, switching names, falsified police reports, a fake arresting officer, switching the arresting officer's names, and then that person involved. These are people involved with child offenders this way, but other natures of crime. These are people that are involved with this expert supposed to be against everything, furthering those things that way. Bak sings, you pray now fall. A whole bunch of people associated with Manchester PAL and with Sammy Vega, recorded, confessed, involved with criminal justice, database crime roles, identity theft, sequence shifts, a whole bunch of natures of crimes on off Central Connecticut State University with interbranch family members also involved of all levels. In other words, not just themselves, their families. Their motivations for this are recorded. They don't even understand because everyone's speaking through other. These are people leading up to the Trade Center attack, criminally involved with the Trade Center, with From My Town Interbranch, criminally involved with their state offices, on off the state prison offices, on off the state judicial branch offices, with a whole bunch of people. See, they also name stack, then they make overall allegations, fights about things that were criminally preventing their sequence shifts, mail crime acts, forging names and switching names from being told on, using the media to steal our identities. These are a whole bunch of people with WFSB recorded, confessed, involved with the Dillon family and with people tied to them, involved with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso, involved with them with the Faenza family, a whole bunch of people on and off Two Rod Highway and on and off Hangag Lane, involved with identity thefts, with various natures of agencies, foreign and domestic, with their family members, with my name criminally, getting up in a fear, get off me. I don't care if you have a badge, you're wrong, you lied. Don't pretend you had a conversation with me. Now, because this is each age of campus at once tied to what is intercities facilitated, sustained against me to prevent me free speech here and there. They're stealing my identity. They're from off campuses with these fake integrity natures, pretended uses of them, speaking through other criminally. Then putting database federal crime acts roles. These are wrongdoing rules with all kinds of natures of predicate acts, Trade Center attack predicate acts, a whole bunch of people tied to a Leahy family and tied with various states, a whole bunch of people tied to New Britain Court through time. Well, people with Cuddy brothers. I never had anything to do with the Cuddy family. These are people on off the state judicial branch offices, brothers, sisters, people who are involved with the house in my area, with their extended family members, and those people involve child crimes, attach people to fake locations, all kinds of digital drug crimes where they do acting because they know this people is going to come here and they're going to pretend this to make it look like it's true because they're putting fake signs of correlation nature. Uses of on-off campuses criminally, uses of on-off identities like parks and things like that. Communications through this with crime methods missed but recorded. The correlation with it with simultaneously inherent active means. We're going to show sickly distinctly every area is going to lift. but we're not going to do it until we have that was built. See the people stacking in New York City, every city of every modern nation, that's a pathology that was forced. If all was built the roles as victim predators, effect human nature slaves, that is a tactically denatured relationship to nature. Humanity prey. One nature of the truth is native pure and guides. We don't have to be Native American to know and realize our rights. So we have the election crimes. Wethersfield is involved with database crimes that are of a nature since before computers, exploiting fact-checking nature relationships to their areas. We have a whole bunch of people when I went to middle school I have nothing to do with. They try to pretend other criminally to imply other because they're using time treatments with them when they're bringing to court with many names on and off two-route highway. A whole bunch of people tied to that to a Victorian house involve further crimes through time with forensics places, crimes with the prisoners and patients and cases. The FBI, other nations' police, uses of identity ground, originally and still criminally together, shared policing of where you can't defend in us. At the same time, all right. There is a Sklar family also involved with the houses in my area. I never saw them in my area. I barely know them. Also, McCoy confessed involved with crimes on and off Hartford Hospital, foreign domestic families, police forms over criminal enterprises. With the Sklar family also involved crimes with DeMore's, other people, Kerr families, other people involved. Heather Hinton, other people involved crimes with Trade Center, with uses of CNN, uses of Fox News, nationally, uses of them locally, distinctly and non-distinctly. Give that up right now. Free my free speech. You guys attach me to fake evidences, forging names, switching names, crime rules. We're wrong doing whatever. Those are predicate acts associated with you and with this Leahy family and with this Lombardo family and with the people with the fire departments involved further criminally through time with Justice Department rackets with every fact, human nature of every age. You sick figs. Here, CT breaks. Fix the fake news. Get off my identity and get down. Okay, around. We need federal stewardships of Wethersfield, Connecticut, of the national. Facebook, they're using this crime to make people to pretend they're for against what they are for. They use Facebook. They use election crimes, uses of Wethersfield town offices, a whole bunch of Smith families, whole bunch of people associated with them. Also, with a whole bunch of other names associated with the Harvard Hospital. Fake conversations with me. Now, these are people with physical delusions and with evidence crime, those identity theft crime methods, catching people to fake yell, fake re-yelling, and justifying people using guns and badges. They're sicker than most killers. Yeah, we will see. Many people with CCSU who have known me through other people pretend to have other recorded like this. What's his name? I can't forget the name. The social family. Further involved through time, criminal uses of people I don't know of the middle school. Try to pretend they're all exceptions, criminally exploited. These are many names associated with CCSU, with Trinity College, using the uses of them and of a whole bunch of other campuses from off them criminally. So we're gonna admit we're gonna draw this. We're gonna put news down. We're gonna put real science. I'm gonna show you really what we attach, how we counter predicate acts. Now this is gonna require the fake news, to fix their fake news crime acts. Now this is going to reveal the buildings next to Hartford, Connecticut, Fox Connecticut News, how involved with a whole bunch of rackets through everything they do. Legislatively, those concepts are with sick minds, with color yet. You'll hear what made those false, blame other things, others yourself, the real cause of negative value, nature, progression. Entertain what can't be entertained in us defended. You hear your course, you heard this not, but put the holy stool. We are holy here, behold. These are our means. One way redeems. That's the answer when you see what is drawn. That's only the tip of it. In Little Rock Guy Fence, there's no joke. It only feels like game one way. Or one will win. Fact treatment is our course. Boxings begin. Get them from the forging names and switching names and sticking fake things in databases through time called out. With the fake news that adds their life progressions. Give me a response for why I can't calmly counter their red threats with kids. Play games with the sensibilities, forcing them to cover their life progressions. You want to make it worse? They don't. I know you. I'm minding my business in life. You rats. They call rats rats. They call people who are rats rats because they're rats. St. Nicholas put to prison by these punks. Same method, rules. Caught through your souls. What pretends to be for voting. They're child abused. Their delusions raw. Voting means nothing if you can't defend freedom of speech, freedom of religion for individuals. Individuals. Where that's hurt. That's the problem. We have fake sides. All right. Logic's course is this. That we have physical delusions with the interpretation of passions and emotions, interbranch or private tied to them, recorded, also criminally foreign influence, fact treatment nature, rack and rolls, low progressions from their database, misprisioning groups. It's a reason we have to attribute predicate acts to a group like a criminal enterprise. And this is still with the identities of these criminal enterprises used to hide how they are recorded in collusion. This is forced, long, and well-sustained, self-valued. Shared policing agreement, self-valued of shared policing in collusion with overt criminal enterprises. Whereas now, verbal federal crimes. Criminal use in pertaining to this says this, we can do this, leaving out the exceptions, valuing those exceptions made with databases. Many pray. They have online. They have narratives about what people say, about things, well, how we're going to debate. They have all theater, maintain criminal ceaseless nature. Oh, they say, well, we don't like these people. They're all dishonest. Now you get me a response. These people are long criminally interbranch, recorded criminal uses of what they call the force, those movies. phrases like shock and awe, like groupthink. They wish they obfuscate what that was trying to describe groupthink. They learn not, but to pretend they were trying to learn. The species volume longs. This game return. So this is not. We're not just gonna pick one. We're gonna draw the identities of the indefensible as science is recorded. As they say, they backed everyone into a. We're gonna use boxing, and because this is not, what's sustained is forcing people to punch and kick and stuff like that. The nature of we can't follow the rules. You know, what I'm saying, more and more. And what is sickly distinctly hurt to keep how sickly not distinctly from being discerned with and as the fact, cheap, and nature opinions of each modern nation. They're offensively using statutes to pretend they have no right to deny me free speech and correction of their many natures of crimes. We have their fake news, crime acts, and crime rules with their interbranch sources, WFSB, especially the ones on off their locations, associated also with the DACA crime used criminally, also with a whole bunch of people on off the locations of the new and where they moved the Wethersfield Police Department to. You rise. Taekwondo, please. Associated with the DeMoral family. Whole bunch of Justin Racket natures. Washington, D.C. Trade Center involved. Now, so we have this DeMo's Market in South State Highway in Wethersfield and Rocky Hill, all the way up to Hartford, where they're involved with all the way up on each of the streets towards it, including the Durham Turnpike, involve identity theft clicks with them, offensive evidence reception crimes with them, sequence shifts, weirdos. They want you to call them weirdos because then they pretend you're a bad person. These are identity theft clicks, sequence shifting, fake sides, various natures of courts and their family members used for a whole bunch of crimes with databases, right there to discern, recorded and confessed by everyone involved. You gotta watch, follow the sequence shifts. You gotta follow where ignores people, identity stolen. Was using our campuses criminal from off them into the departments too. How? You borrow fake badges for. We need federal stewardship now. I ask nights. I want a response for the rest of the problems with these Mendez police. With these police, with this Jerry Miller. Whole bunch of people with the current police involved crimes with judges, with children, with prison cliques, involved crimes, identity theft, spread lies, database crimes through each age. Each campus connected to this. We have FBI families involved with our campuses. Wrong. How they were motivated and needed to value that is recorded too. Boxing is strong. More help. We will not win. We will claim this. Boxing begin. Marco Antonio Barrera wins crown over Prince Nazim Hamed this day, April 2007. Nazim is a great fighter, though. You can't let off 1 second. Boxing. And that's just the announcement that popped up on YouTube here. So I want to tell you guys. I want you to understand, because I don't have time to do it. We're gonna the connected five. Before, then as the value of the boroughs and beyond it. And then beyond it, further even that. And beyond it, further even that. The reason there are 365 days is because Earth is a concentrated value of all space. And that's where we could be the value of 1,100, which is a value manifest in demonstration of the nature and the identity of the as identity as the nature of volume itself, that is self-generating, that is simultaneously complete possession of space nature and of forever nature, simultaneously, distinctly and non-distinctly, both see through, but discernibly with this identity of forever nature attached to and causing all other identity of value regression in relationship to more and more and more value of space can't help but be. Humanities. Remaining see but not discern. Please learn. You know, I start talking, they're going to try to grab my words and turn it over to their theater narratives, needed by criminal insidiousness nature, originally and still. See, now they need to lie into branch. They need to quote statutes that they know are criminally and foreign influence. No, they were propagated and are self-cultivated exploitation of every exception there is. There are other natures of gun crimes. Just because they have, even if the cop doesn't shoot, even if the guy with the gavel, the woman with the gavel doesn't shoot, those are gun crimes. They're forcing quality fact human nature rules with them sick souls originally still too many ways who pray. Now we will admit these identity of the ground relationship to identity of value treatments unacceptable across the globe in every place. Our pace. Species coach. Hurry up. Now come to train. I'll show you how to treat. Where forgiveness is for this cause, nature of organized crime. Everyone blaming other things, others themselves, already invested valuing the having been only realized. We're going to change the nature of everything. Every time, treatment, every person. We're going to change our means, our beings. One way redeems. You will read the Santa Claus. But first, we need this identity of the ground grasp. So I'm going to use the Burrow book, but we need together. We're going to need to help each other. So you guys are going to use same page, and we're going to also do a species and nation, because we're going to see that and how, and we're going to discern how value nature has a value / value nature relationship to itself, and that / is both the value of the everything nature of space, you know, of forever nature, that as its own identity of value, which is self-generating, with space and with forever as two substrates, distinctly and non-distinctly. And this greater value is manifest. You know, we'll examine it. But in other words, what we have to do is understand that the identity of the ground, all things work in demonstration of this, and would list its gifts or loss. Since ancient times, this has been boss, which stays its lost self-value. That's why we're going to space. That's we have threats, but no reliefs, where instead of they could have used all those resources and natures of non-agreement about things that are crazy to realize all that we do agree about. That's why we all need water. The identity of positive is beyond our control, while it is semi in our control, and while it is finite in our control, only through its system. So we can do other, that makes criminal seriousness nature. That makes natures of positive sensibilities as that. Can't treat that and be honest about what emotions or passions are actually about. You can't teach logic course. Emotions and passions are needed to counter these natures of gun crimes. And I'll facilitate it right through the people, right through the campuses, studying such. Then self-defending rules. That's facilitated. Call through your souls. Each voice you heard yet lies. All rise. Be child tribes. We're going to need federal stewardships of every state now. I'll admit, fake branches sip and fall. Now fall below the wall. So we have this through time. It uses a whole bunch of people associated with on-off CCSU involved with this criminally with various natures of courts, using the identities on with the ground and their family members. See, now they make them affect them to criminal uses of offensive evidence reception, pretended legitimate for other things, but were really recorded not legitimate. We have a whole bunch of people on with triage places and with probate courts associated with a Dr. Shub of modern languages, Dr. Shub of modern languages, and his wife, associated with locations on and off Fox Connecticut News, federal crimes with their fake news crime acts, also as treatments of positive as criminal insidiousness nature exploited in conjunction with people with tied medical crime acts, predicate acts recorded. They're also recorded consciously, criminally, pretending those predicate acts, they don't realize they're recorded, knowing they're recorded, which is also being prevented from being reported. These are mandated law crimes. These are a whole bunch of people from my area that I never had anything to do with, all exceptions criminally exploited, barely know them, that are involved with on-off Trinity College, on-off CCSU crimes, with a whole bunch of federal criminals, co-defendants of former director of the FBI and their family members, facilitated database crimes, offensive evidence reception crimes, uses of other people's names crimes, pretended for other reasons crimes, fake passions and emotions. This is a crime that's preventing passions and emotions from having anyone with integrity uses of them. You remember this. You get me a response. See Renaissance. We have the branches recorded and confessed. Physical delusions raw and criminally foreign influence, valuing science is kept that way. And the roles are recorded. Now we have more child offenders with the campuses. You hear these things, you can't believe them. Even, especially if they're made up, they're furthering those things anyways. We have more fake uses of Facebook for royal sick behavior crimes, with all interbranch, foreign and domestic juxtaposed, keeping this outcome. Recorded hours time recorded. Stay with the sequence shifts. All other narratives or follow the money and stuff like that, recorded, involve sequence shifts regarding the grouped organized crime method rules. Methods. Also, tied to the individual group method roles. Methods, individual group together. The branch is indifferent to the sickest things, roles, originally still, that used to maintain them criminally foreign influence. Victim predators, roles with and as the same archetypal criminal enterprise as the overt criminal enterprise is. criminally acting with them through time, and with all the undercover with them, like with Fox Connecticut News. Whole bunch of people associated with Chris White, with on-off intercities, like New Haven, on-off the shared policing in New Haven spots, the shared policing of downtown Hartford spots. Whole bunch of people with the Casper family, identity thefts, fake words with me, fake sequence shifting roles with the ages, crime method roles where they have people interact with it through sick things, through sick tricks, where no one's going to speak honest. And there's needs for it. So they have the coaches involved. They use their identities as coaches. Everyone's speaking through others. That pretended realize they don't realize it. You better get me a response. This is intercity schools too. This is in the educational department with CCSU. Per them, they can't follow the law now. They're making the problems between me and all involved personal, because they need to pretend that for the courts involved criminally, and with the former director of the FBI, all the way down, other agencies, and their family members involved criminally, on off these locations. Hurry up. Don't pretend that you can have an election now and say sorry. Mayors who use my name, who made opinions about what I say online, you recorded yourselves involved with the database crimes with that. Everywhere I went, this is recorded. They did this all different ways. Hear me pray. What's the names of my new neighbor? They're also recorded and confessed involved a whole bunch of people associated with it as a former Detective Dillon, involved further with a whole bunch of people with hospital, with federal crimes with them, with falsified police reports with them, predicate acts with them, and with this lady family. Get these dudes down now. Get my new neighbor's name in my mind. What is it? Give us peaceful means to counter fakes. Here's CT breaks. We also have to avert the criminal uses of the witness protection program, also involved with the judges and with their family members involved, with the police force involved, with this Kerr family, and with the recorder there, religious spots, forging names, switching spellings of names, crime methods like that. On Joe Aiello, other people on off campuses like Buckley High School, get me a response from them. People, get me a response right now. Fake branches, bow, fast, full. Build the wall. So we have problems that we instantaneous means for. One way redeems more and more each day. Hear many pray. So we have water crimes where the interbranch lie about and what's recorded actually if you call and report things true always. Hear many pray. It's another nature of truth. Offensively, CNN recorded, confessed, demonstrated, forced to offensively pretend to be about facts, to pretend to be about truth, to hide their roles with recorded CCSU, intelligence community criminality, how they maintain this. On off Normandy Heights, many people, foreign and domestic military, criminally involved. All we need is recorded. Everyone will confess it. And they need to pretend people other. By doing that, they keep everyone having conversations using non-facts. They will demonstrate this true, who they say won't. They're lying. Fox Connecticut News, Allegro's Cafe. There are people that say they are mayor involved with you, with the child offenders, and with this on-off two-road highway people involved, with database crimes, with state police, with Westfield Police, Hartford Police Force, foreign and domestic. Oh, the religious spots. Don't pretend you know me. Your neighbors are ill too. Don't pretend they know me. Será civil. give me a response to the rape threats. Further recorded confessed crimes, wire crimes, spreading lies with my name through families and through kids. And with Joshua Julian, recorded confessed, doing that federal crimes with avoiding criminal enterprises. Also, this Kerr family with his officer Jerry Miller uses of Facebook for these natures of election crimes. These are crimes of the Russian families I don't even know the names of. And the one at the corner of Griswold Street, also involved with criminal uses of the people on and off the campuses involved with Trinity College. Whole bunch of people with Charlie Bowes. I never had a conversation with my life. Whole bunch of people tied to him with police forms, with judges involved crimes, interbreed families, all drug crimes, all the way formal and over gang drugs. These are the people that are the stewards of investigations involved with the worst crimes. These are the doctors involved with that, with badges especially. One's tied to them sick. Fishing to a stick. So we have various natures of courts and judges forging and switching names. Play no games. They are ill. They kill. There are rules with what is sustained on each area, sickly distinctly. And we'll begin with what is most forsaken here. So there's a whole bunch of people associated with on-off criminal justice associated campuses that are involved with database crimes. With a whole bunch of names, with online policing, I'll get you child offenders, interbreeds, and down. And women rules, I'll gather around. I'll show you how they make victim predators stay. Hear many pray. Free speech. Now one must teach. Fake branches fall.